Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab says that the EU should move to a compromise on key issues in order to get a trade deal in time for the end of the Brexit transition period at the end of December. Another round of talks with Brussels will take place this week. But tonight, in the last half hour, the government has said that it's planning new Brexit legislation that could go against agreements already made with the EU and therefore threaten future talks.
In 2020, after the United Kingdom fought to leave the European Union, both sides entered intense negotiation to define their future relationship.
One of the most sensitive issues was trade and border arrangements, especially concerning fair competition and market access.
The scene focuses on a crucial negotiation meeting just weeks before the deadline.
Thank you for attending. Time is limited, and failure to reach an agreement could disrupt trade across Europe. I invite the UK to begin.
Thank you, Chair. The UK seeks a free trade agreement that respects our sovereignty. We want full control over our laws while maintaining smooth trade with the EU.
Thank you. EU, your position.
The European Union is open to a strong partnership. However, access to our single market requires fair competition. We must ensure that the UK does not gain an unfair advantage.
The issue of fair competition seems central. UK, how do you address EU concern?
We cannot accept rules that bind us to EU regulations indefinitely. Brexit was about regaining legislative independence.
Independence comes with consequences. Without guarantee on labor, environmental, and state aid standards, the integrity of our single market is at risk.
Then we risk no deal, which would hurt businesses on both sides.
Let us refocus. Both sides have a much to lose. Is there room for a balanced solution?
We could accept regulatory divergence if there is a mechanism to respond when competition is distorted.
In that case, the UK could agree to transparency and dispute resolution as long as the final authority is independent.
So a trade agreement with enforcement through a joint committee?
Yes.
That is acceptable.
Thank you. This negotiation illustrates how the UK and the EU handle a difficult negotiation during the Brexit process.
While the UK focused on sovereignty and the EU focused on protecting its single market, both sides recognized that a no-deal outcome would be harmful.
Through compromise and dialogue, they reached a balanced agreement. The case highlights that in international negotiation, success comes from cooperation rather than total victory.
Promises made in the 2016 referendum taking back control of the UK's laws and borders. After months of talks and frantic last-minute wrangling over fishing, negotiators finally reached agreement this afternoon with just a week to go before the deadline ends. The President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, described it as a good and fair deal. She said she felt relieved and it was time to leave Brexit behind. Here's our political editor, Laura Kuensberg, on a day of history.
Time is finally up. A deal at last agreed that Number 10 believes will pull power back to this building from Brussels. A vast trade and security agreement the Prime Minister and Brexiteers promised. Until a matter of hours ago, it wasn't guaranteed. But look, the optimist really did have something to cheer. His ubiquitous thumbs up, achievement, relief written all over his face.
Thank you for watching.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
And see you on the next project.
Bye!